Hi guys, and we're back again. Day 27, Body, Mind, Spirit Challenge. My name is Jim Standish, one of your co-hosts, and we are continuing down our deep dive of meditation. And today we're going to talk about brain entrainment and binaural beats. And I don't know if you are familiar with those terms. Today there is a whole bunch of stuff to pull out on the handouts. Now, binaural beats and brain entrainment is an audio guide to meditation. And again, it's about balancing both hemispheres of the brain so that you can get into a very deep meditative state and enjoy a very profound, relaxed experience. So with binaural beats, the technique is to actually have a repeating pattern. Remember we talked about rhythmic breathing, and I had you kind of choose a in okay, all right, remember that? It's a few days ago. That was like a primer for this, okay? So binaural beats are a beat or a resonance or a rhythm that goes on in one ear, a different rhythm goes on in the other ear, and then when the two ears hear the two different sides, zoop, it pulls the brain to the center. So these are all little tools, tips, and techniques to help balance both hemispheres of your brain. So in the PDF handout, there are two different ones that I share with you. One is called the Chakra Tuning in E. That is one that I used an awful lot when I was learning how to do my meditation practice. That is one that I just put on. I put on some headphones, put it on kind of nice and softly in the background, and there's all kinds of stuff going on there in the background. Again, it would take a lot of explanation to explain this. I'm going to give you the links so that you can read about it yourself, understand it yourself. The other file that I have in there for you is the sound of the sun, and that is something that we talked about earlier, that NASA has recorded the sounds of the planets, and the sound of the sun sounds very eerily like the sound of creation, or Om, and it is completely natural, and you can, same thing, put on some headphones, let this play in the background. It will do some really interesting things for you, and as far as guiding you down to no man's land, down there in the deep space of nothing. Like, why do I want to go nowhere? We're getting to that. And also, with the sound of the sun, I use it to program water. Now, you know that I'm a big fan of Peter Shank software. I've been using it for well over 10 years. And back on day 14, if you want to go back to day 14, I gave you a couple of links with an experiment that I did, proving without a doubt, proving the efficacy of programming water. And the sound of the sun is the one water that was like off the charts. I programmed with the sound of the sun through a whole bunch of stuff at that one water. If you want to go back and read the blog post and remember it, and it's now you have the file, and I want you to play with this yourself. Put a glass of water in front of some speakers, and hopefully you have like a subwoofer on your system, right? Water absolutely freaks out to the sound of the sun. It is amazing. It is something that you have to see it to believe it. And I know if you're here, you're probably a fan of Peter's, and you've heard some of his stories about testimony of what people have seen happen to their glasses of water as we do these different activations. This is something that you kind of have to see for yourself too. So now you have the file. Download the file, put it on your computer, play with it a little bit. And also I want you to play with the Chakra Tuning in E with your meditation practice. And Also, I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff in today's handout, and it's going to keep you busy for quite some time. We're kind of pulling this all together just in this little meditation section. And I just wanted to do a few days on meditation alone and give you just a whole bunch of tools, tips, and techniques to help you with your meditation practice. Science validates absolutely that there are all kinds of things that meditation does for you and your health and your body, as far as, lowering blood pressure, reducing stress, increasing the production of T cells. There are just the numerous benefits. There are Harvard studies done, all kinds of studies done. I believe I gave you those links too about the Harvard study that was done on meditation. There have been experiments actually reducing violence using meditation. That they took a study group of X amount of people and used the combined meditation, where you have a whole bunch of people meditating on one thought. They get actually direct energy to a city, and scientifically prove that because 100 or so people were meditating in a specific city, concentrating their energy, that it actually reduced the level of violence and crime in that city for that time while they were meditating. That is pretty crazy, off the charts. In my PDF today, I have a PDF called Proof, Scientific Proof. And there's a whole bunch of links in there that will keep you busy for quite some time. Now, here's the kicker. We are going to move on. Day 28, we're going to start talking about the I Ching systems, the I Ching systems instruments. So I want to kind of wrap up this little meditation thing. I've given you a whole bunch of tools and a whole bunch of techniques to practice meditation for yourself. Here is the kicker. This is a 30-day challenge. Science can validate in order to cement a new habit in your brain. They talk about doing it for 21 days. There's a lot of people that do 21-day challenge. Years ago, I was involved in doing some marketing, and we used to do this 21-day blitz of work, where you would work for 21 days straight and then take the other 5 days off. Take a week off, go back to work, hammer for 21 days, take 5 days off. In a meditation practice, there is an ancient knowledge or knowing about 40 days. And we know about this famous guy that went into the desert for 40 days. I really want you to start to practice using this guy 108 times. Now, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, or day 25, when we were talking about mantras, on day 25, I gave you a link to a gentleman that does a whole bunch of mantras and recites them for you and teaches you how to recite them. And I don't want to choose a mantra for you. I want you to choose your own mantra. The Lakshmi mantra is something that worked for me. Om Gam Shrim Maha Lakshmi Namaha. And what I did is actually say that for 40 days. And this is the test. So there's a whole nother challenge here, past the 30-day challenge, is to choose a mantra. Use that mantra 108 times for 40 days in a row. Now, you can plug in any one of these other elements as you see fit. If it helps you to stare at the Sri Yantra, absolutely. If it helps you to close your eyes, absolutely. The important thing is to control the monkey mind. Control the things that take you off track, that take you off track, that take you off track. And you're going to concentrate on something, and that is the purpose of a mantra, is to give your brain something to think about. But concentrating on your breathing is to give your brain something to think about. To use the mala is to give, it's a tactile thing. It gives your your body and your brain something to, number one, to count to 108 times, but it keeps you occupied. And when you practice this and practice this and practice this for 40 days, if you miss one day, I want you to start over again. And what happens when you make it finally through the 40-day period, and you'll see on your way there that things start to mesh, that we talked way early, we talked about these synchronicities and how synchronicities happen. If you want to practice something kind of cool, think of anything. I use elephants. Okay, so there's a buddy of mine that is really into elephants, is working on this whole thing to stop poaching, and is very active in saving the elephant. If you meditate and just think elephants, just do this as a crazy off the wall fun experiment. When you're meditating, just think elephants, 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 elephants. Think elephants. The more you meditate as the days go by, it is going to freak you out how many times you see an elephant. They are just going to start popping out of the woodwork. Now, I'm not talking about big elephants from the circus walking down the street. I'm talking about images of images of elephants. They are going to start coming out of the woodwork for you. It is the craziest thing ever. If you want to buy a new vehicle, choose the vehicle that you want, meditate on that vehicle, start thinking about that vehicle. You are going to be surprised at how many of those vehicles you start to see. You're going to get ads. Somebody's going to send you something in the mail about the very vehicle that you're thinking about. You're going to start seeing them all the time driving down the road. You're going to be able to spot them from 2 miles away. And this is an incredible manifestation tool, and that's what I'm getting at, is that when you pull all these things together, you pull the Sri Yantra together, you pull the mantra together, pull all these pieces together, and concentrate on one specific thing while you're meditating, you're sending that image out there, and the universe will respond. Unbelievable stuff. So practice this, practice this, practice this. You have my email. You have a way to get in touch with me through the website or the email. I'd love to hear from you, and just share with me how this works for you. Crazy stuff. So this video went a little bit long. The brain entrainment thing, just pull up the PDFs down below. You'll be able to load them to your computer and just experiment with it, play with it. Really cool stuff. So tomorrow, day 28, we're going to start to get into the I Ching Systems instruments and what they can do for you to really enhance this whole experience for you. So thanks for joining me. We'll see you on day 28. Bye-bye.